Find the value of x for which the expression is undefined. So we have the expression to be 6x minus 1 all over x squared plus 4x minus 5. So this is a Waec question, and let us solve this together. So what does it mean when an equation or an expression or a fraction, what does it mean when it is undefined? So an expression is undefined when the denominator is equal to 0. So when the value of the denominator is equal to 0, then the expression is undefined. Now, what's our denominator here? Denominator here is x squared plus 4x minus 5. So this is our denominator. So when this denominator is equal to 0, then we say that the expression is undefined. We say that the expression is undefined. So our expression here is undefined when x squared plus 4x minus 5 is equal to 0. Now, this is obviously a quadratic equation. You know this is a quadratic equation already. So what they're expecting you to do is that solve this quadratic equation to get your values for x. Now, you can use any of the methods, but in this video, I'll be using the factorization method. So by factorizing this, we have x squared plus 4x minus 5. Now, the trick and the method of factorization is that here we have our constant to be minus 5. Our constant is minus 5. Then the coefficient of x here is what? 4x. Is 4x. Now look for two numbers that when you multiply the two numbers together, it must give you minus 5. And then when you add or subtract those numbers together, it must give you 4 plus 4. So those two numbers are 5 and 1. 5 and 1. So how do we turn 5 and 1? By multiplying them to minus 5. One of them was positive and the other one negative. That is, 5 is positive here, then our 1 is negative. So when 1 is negative, you'll be having 5 times minus 1 would give you minus 5. Then 5 plus minus 1. So let us add them together. 5 plus minus 1 will be giving us what? Will be giving us 4. So 5 and minus 1 are the two factors. 5 plus 5 and minus 1. So bringing it back to our work, instead of 4x here, let us impute the values. So we'll be having x squared minus x. So that is the 1. So that will be minus x plus 5x minus 5 equal to 0. Looking at this, you will notice that minus x plus 5x, this thing will still give us 4x. So that's the implication. So when you do minus x plus 5x, it must still give you 4x here. Then we have our minus 5 equal to 0. So here, let us factorize. What is common between x squared and x here? X is common. So bring out one x, open brackets. You'll be left with one x here because this is x to the power 2. So when we factorize out one x, we'll be left with another x minus. Here, if we factorize the x out, we'll be left with 1. We'll be left with nothing, so we'll be left with 1. So that will be 1. So that x times 1 will give us x. So that x times x will give us x squared. So you can close the brackets here. Then plus. What is common in 5x and minus 5? You notice that 5 is common. So factorize 5 out. We have plus 5, open bracket. What is left? After factorizing 5 on this term, what is left? You are left with x. So we're having x such that 5 times x will give you 5x. Then you have a negative sign here, minus. If you remove 5 from here, we'll be left with 1. So that 5 times 1 should give you minus 5. Do you get now? So everything is still equal to 0. Everything is still equal to 0. Now you will notice that the bracket here is equal to the bracket here. The value of the bracket here is equal to the bracket here, which is what? X minus 1. So if you are doing your factorization and when you get to this stage, you notice that the values of the brackets do not align, then note that you have made a mistake somewhere. So they must give you the same thing, the same values. So we pick one of them since they are the same, x minus 1, pick out one of them. Then the values outside the bracket, which is x and plus 5. Put them also in another bracket. So we'll be having x plus 5. X plus 5. Everything here equals to 0. Now, this is how to get our final answer. We've gotten two factors already, x minus 1 and x plus 5. The both of them are equal to 0. So we can separate them by having x minus 1 is equal to 0, or the second factor, which is x plus 5 is equal to 0. So from here, bring minus 1 to the right hand side, make x equal to the formula. You'll be having x is equal to 1, or here bringing plus 5 to the other side, it turns to minus 5. So you'll be having or x is equal to minus 5. So it means the value for which this expression will be undefined is x equal to 1 or x is equal to minus 5. Kindly like, comment and share this video. Thank you.